This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats all in the one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. The app is free. To watch more of this video, get over and join us on Patreon. Speaking about how the structure works, because obviously it's relatively new still at Everton. I mean, I tend to look at the Walsh-Koeman thing and just disregard it as it never really worked. They were never really seen together. It was, you know, it struck me as two separate things that were going on at the same time. It was a false start, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a full false start, mate, exactly what it was. This is reset in the summer, and we now have the structure. He said, we have officers across from each other at Finch Farm. We speak every day. He said, we on signing players, he said, we both, Marco Silva will identify a player, and if I agree with it, that's who we will go after. And he said the same the other way. He said, if I took a player to Marco and he said, I don't think he'd work with me, we wouldn't pursue it. So that's really important, isn't it? Because there's always that little thing with the director of football at some clubs. Who's buying the players? Is it the director of football and the coach just has to have them? Or is it a case of, yes, they're in agreement and this will work? So it's good to see him coming out and saying that relationship with Marco Silva is there.
Yeah, of course. To be working in tangent is something that you really need. And I think when you cast your mind back to Everton over the years, you know, it always seemed to be, particularly under David Moyes, the next step up from that was obviously the board, Bill Kenwright, etc. There was never really a footballing brain there. No. But now with Marcel Brands, he seems to certainly have a really high football IQ in terms of his player profile and his player recruitment. As he mentioned there, you know, I think he's just gone off to some international championships in South America too.
He'd been there in January, he confirmed, the South American championship.
He seems to be constantly on the ball in terms of recruitment and looking for the hidden gems and the diamonds, which if you contrast that with what, Steve Walsh's recruitment, he seemed to just be picking out the best from the rest. I mean, give him his due credit for the likes of Idrissa Gueye, but it doesn't take a genius to find Gylfi Sigurdsson or Theo Walcott, etc. You know, they genuinely just seem to be the best of the rest. So,
McPartland, Ashley Williams.
Exactly. So, as I say, like you said there, that relationship between Brands and Silva is paramount to Everton's success and driving forward, because any kind of, disconnect in that relationship, it provides a host of problems for the club, and they seem to be both on the same wavelength. And in terms of the identification of targets, as they said, they seem to be agreeing at the moment. And in terms of last summer's recruitment, no one's really put a foot wrong.
No, and you're right, and that takes us nicely onto the next one, which was, he was asked about the transfer plans for the summer, and he said that, I thought it was really interesting, he said that once the transfer window closed in September, that the planning began for this summer, which is mad, but it's brilliant, because it shows that someone's got a grasp on exactly what is needed. But he's talking about planning 11 months, 9 months ahead, isn't he? He's saying that window shuts on September 1st, and all of us, it wasn't, the European window, was September the 1st. Ours shut in the first week in August practically, didn't it? But his planning from that moment then was for this summer and who we can get.
Yeah, and obviously that demonstrates forward thinking, but I think there are also a lot of variables that, prevented us from entering the January market. You look back to the past recruitment in terms of the wage structure of the club, and you mentioned there, we just the squad roster was just too heavy. In that, because of that, and obviously the fact is that you're obviously paying way over the odds for players when you're trying to bring a high quality player in, at least in the January. So you can understand why he's waited for the summer, and the fact that he's planned and identified targets. Fingers crossed these are actually obtainable targets, and given his negotiation skills, and like you mentioned with Barcelona, if there are any targets of that likeness, the sky's the limit. Well, fingers crossed, the sky's the limit.
Well, I mean, just what you said there, he did go on into that. He said, we're planning for next summer. We've been planning for next summer since September the 1st. He said, we didn't enter the January transfer window because there's no value in it. He said he doesn't like it because there's no pre-season, so the players come in and there's game after game, and where do they fit in, and they either can get injured or they just don't settle, and then all of a sudden people are like,
and what a waste of money that is, or whatever. I think he did say at the time, if we needed something, we would dip into the market. But he said there was no real need in January. Now, I felt we needed a striker. I really did. In January, particularly after that Millwall game, I felt we needed a centre forward because we were all over the place. And I would have had Batshuayi. I'd have loved to get Batshuayi. I know the jury's out. Some people like him, some don't.
Even those wages,
but the wages. But then when them wages come out, I went, no, you know what? No problem with them not doing it. And you know, people have stepped up. Richarlison scored a few. Doms scored a few. You know, Gylfi stepped up. So we've kind of got past that now, and you know, it is what it is. It's fine.